everyone, it's Skyler.
And it's Tyler.
And welcome to episode 8 of Bird Talk.
So on this episode, we have two guests, Mr. Peterson and Mr. Pascual. Mr. Peterson is actually my dad. So that's cool. Both are members. Mr. Peterson mentors the IRs. Yeah, they're both mentors. Mr. Peterson mentors the IR side of the team and helps us with our chairman's team. Mr. Peterson has been around the team for 5 years, and Mr. Pascual mentors the ST side of the team. He's been around for about 7 years.
And for those of you who may have forgotten, IR is our business side and ST is the robot side.
This is going to be a fun podcast.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Unleash the brakes.
Are we okay? All right. Okay. So let's start. Mr. Peterson and Ms. Pascual, what do you guys do for work? Like a job?
You know what? I don't really like to talk about my job.
I told you, Skyler. I told you he'd say that. I put that question down as a joke because I knew the response.
I don't want to talk about work.
That was the exact wording he said you were going to use. He said you're going to ask and he's going to say, I don't want to talk about work.
So it's the same response every time.
Okay, well, Mr. Pascual, do you want to mention what you do for work?
It has been hell week, so no.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, that's nice.
Okay. Nice to know that even when you get to adulthood, you still don't want to work.
Yeah, that's right. I think at this level they have to call it Heck Week. It's Heck Week. I'm not sure who's listening to this thing, so I think you have to call it Heck Week. Yeah, or like HE double hockey sticks week, or
no one cares. Call it whatever you want. All right.
Well, family-friendly podcast.
Yeah, it's family-friendly. We're leading children here. We're mentoring children here. It's really important.
Playing with a purpose. I like it. Hey, you guys asked.
Yeah, really. Nobody wants to talk about work. Let's talk about robots. Let's talk about
You're the IR side. What are you talking about robots for?
Scared and shaking dogs. Hey, I have to be able to talk about robots, or at least teach other kids to talk about robots.
You got a good point.
To some degree.
That's fair. This is a fair point. Yep.
All right. We just got some questions lined up. So, why did you guys start mentoring the team?
Why?
Yeah.
Yes. Why? I mean, I'm pretty sure you did. There's got to be a reason. I don't think you would just arrive at Buchanan one day and go, I'm mentoring this team.
I ask myself that question every day. Why? Why
did you get yourself into this?
Why? Oh, why? Oh, why? I'm surrounded by pimples and
freakazoids.
A freakazoid, yeah. Every nerd under the sun. Why am I here? I have to tell you, I've known Mr. Pascual for a number of years. Our kids used to be involved in the same karate program, and we got to know each other there. And as Mr. Pascual's son kind of moved through the program, I kind of followed along. So I've actually been involved with the team longer than 5 years, because when young Padawan Pascual joined the FRC team, he came to me to help sponsor the team and provide some materials, computer components, those sorts of things, scrapping together different machines to run CAD on and other applications. So I happily accommodated. You guys are great kids and really exciting to be around, and you're full of innovation and a lot of enthusiasm, and you're just fun people. So I like to be around. No, I am not wrong. No, you especially.
I'm not so sure about the great kids part, but the other stuff is true.
Speak for yourself, young man.
I am a great kid. Okay, I don't know. Maybe you're not, Tyler,
but. So that's why I'm involved. I kind of got sucked into the vortex, when kids that I knew and loved were coming up through the program. And of course, you want to see kids that you know and love succeed, so can spark some interest. And yeah, Zach came through, and I was all too happy to support that effort. And of course, when my oldest, when Aaron came through, your brother, why can't you be more like him? No, I'm kidding.
God, man,
You
that's
know
the
what?
best parenting technique out there, comparing you to other
It
people.
looks like what every child wants to hear from his dad, right?
Why can't you be like this person?
Why can't you be more like your brother? No, I'm just kidding. But he came through the
worst
program.
thing to say to someone.
I tell you, way to bring down our self-esteem, Dad. Nice one.
Nice one.
I mean, I was never told that. It was always, Zachary, why can't you be more like Skyler?
Oh yeah, well, I believe that actually.
Yeah.
You hold the position of power and authority and influence in your family.
Oh yeah.
No, but what I get to do, I get to tease teenagers, and that just brings my heart joy. So. What better way to spend my days? Seeing as I don't want to talk about work, I just want to bag on teenagers all day. I can find no better place to do it. But I have to be careful, because nerd kids, they can have their psyches broken pretty quick. I found out. Everything in moderation.
And on the right
start
side
off the robotics team with like a low self-esteem anyways.
Hey, well, it's weird because like engineers and engineering students have this weird kind of superiority complex too. So it's kind of strange.
Yeah.
I try to bring kids back down to earth. Call it what you will. Ryan, why do you stay involved with the team? Or why did you get involved with the team in the first place?
And why did you stay involved? Because I mean, our team's great, but we are also, I mean, I understand why some people might get a bit done with us.
Wow.
We are quite
we're a lot to handle.
handful. Yeah.
Just shut the door and then come back and try it again tomorrow.
Robotics is more like a preschool rather than a.
Oh my gosh.
We're just a lot of work,
Depending on the time of day, you are kind of right, but I don't want to say anything, but you said it, Skyler. I don't want to say anything.
I mean, I can admit
you didn't want to say that.
I can admit my faults and the team's faults.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Seems like we do it a little too much on the robotics team.
It's
well,
fine.
I've been involved with the first program since Zachary was fourth grade. So, like Mr. Peterson said, back in the day, starting with FLL, just coming through the ranks and seeing all the different things that goes on, making it to champs, and all the things that kids are learning, and keeping in touch with today's generation. It's pretty cool. Then just to move on to high school, and that's where I came with the team, and it's been kind of a blessing on both ends. So it's been fun, and I keep hanging around because we keep learning new things, and things just always needs to be done. If we don't do it, who will?
Okay, so to go more off of the whole like starting mentoring, why did you guys like pick your like
like what made you pick IR or ST
and ST, yeah,
and like chairmans for you, Mr. Peterson? Like, why did you guys start mentoring those parts of the team?
I think for me it was more so on the need basis. I like to fill in where I feel I can be of some service, basically. So if we need field elements, that type of thing built, I'm kind of handy with my hands. I like to do that kind of stuff. So there I was. So that's kind of my take on it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, same. I was kind of hanging around. Really, I was just kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do by osmosis, just being in the environment and just kind of hanging around. And I realized there was kind of a missing mentor component. The robot is the star of the show, right? the robot gets all the glory.
Yeah, like
But
the open house and all that.
yeah, right.
It's robot.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
right. It's robotics,
first
not
robotics competition. Like
yeah,
But it's
right.
not robots.
Yeah, it's not public speaking ick, or
yeah.
however you would say that, right? Anyway, it's not business component dicks. But I was hanging around on that kind of half of the team and just kind of listening at listening to the different struggles they were going through, and just realized there was kind of just a little bit of a missing component from a mentorship standpoint. And besides that, that's the component that handles all the business side, right? You've got public relations, you've got actual finance components, you've got marketing and sales, and all these different components. And you've got presentations, you've got award submissions, business writing, all of these components that aren't necessarily the razzle dazzle.
The behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
keep it moving. Like they keep the cash coming in, and it ends up usually getting us to world from that.
Yeah, right. I
Really?
mean, we've gotten to worlds most. I mean, the year we won, we were on the winning alliance for the world
Monterey.
championship.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, for the world championship,
Oh,
we
yeah.
had gotten there on chairman's, I think.
Yeah, we did.
And so.
Yep.
And even
I mean-
in Monterey, like that was our first regional that we
And even then, we still also
with
won
Robot.
chairman's.
yeah.
Yeah, right. That was an exciting time. I mean, so the chairman's effort and all of the business side and all of the things that the team puts together that's beside the robot, that's all very exciting as well. It's just not as well publicized, I think. And besides that, we've got this really great leadership structure that is very robust. I mean, surprisingly robust for a high school team. I mean, it just knocked my socks off that you were even organized that way. And leadership, becoming a good leader is not just something that you wake up with. Like, there are skills that are required to learn what good leadership is, and learn how to give and receive orders, and how to kind of organize your workforce. And whatever I can do to contribute to that effort is just really exciting to me. So
Then that's like why you do like the leadership camp and everything. Then
yeah, it was that
when
was
did you start?
Our first leadership camp, I think, was 3 years ago. This
Yeah,
was our
that
third.
sounds right.
This was
Yeah.
this was our third annual this last summer. And yeah, I mean, and last summer was a real challenge. How did we get everybody together? So we had to stay really distanced, but it was such a critical component because we got to get our heads together again and figure out how to lead a team that may not even be competing. And turns out we won't even be really competing on the robot very much this year. So
Yeah.
how do we find our motivation? How do we motivate the rest of the team? How can we even operate as a team? And that became a great subject for the leadership camp. It was surprising and reinvigorating, I think.
I feel like the things you taught them this time, it really meant this year because of COVID and all that. And like motivation just like it gets sucked out of us during all of this. I think that's something that should be introduced into like all the years, because for the last couple of years, what's happened is it's like everyone's super kind of like just chilling out until the very end, and then like just kick it into overdrive.
That
It's like,
results
why
in a
haven't
lot
we
of
been taking?
tears.
Why
That's
isn't
just
we
how we
been like
operate.
at this pace the whole time? We could have been doing this.
But that's just, we don't operate that way. We wait, and then we rush
Freak
at the
out.
end, and then we put zip ties and tape on everything, and then we're good.
Well, I think Mr. Pascual has seen his share of thrown wrenches and tears and misadventures in the engineering side. And I've certainly seen the business side, the non-technical version of that. Lots of rocking back and forth in the fetal position, and what am I going to do? What am I going to do with my life? And that all is that falls under, from a leadership standpoint, it falls under the burden of command. How are you going to shoulder the burden of, leading a team or leading a massive effort like that? And on the robot side, I'll let Mr. Pascual speak more to this, but it puts you into what they call the crucible, right? And it melts you down, and it melts down all of these, all of the slag burns off, and all of the worthless materials burn off until you're left with this gold nugget at the bottom of the crucible. But boy, that heat gets really, really hot for you guys, and that's one of the things that I try to teach you how to shoulder a little bit more healthfully.
Yeah, I mean the late nights, and I kind of, when you're speaking to that, I think of the open house. We're still
Till
it's
6 a.m.
to have something ready to present, right? And you're just to the grind, and like you said, there's all these. You're looking at all these parts and whatnot that's been cast aside because of failure, and trying to come up with something that makes sense and works and functions like it should. It is something to see it all come together, though.
Yeah, it's like when it comes to open house, it's like, how is it moving? Like, the robot was not even assembled like yesterday.
Yeah. I know that like there's been multiple open houses where I have left the shop with the robot not done, and when I went to like open house the next day, it was working, and I don't understand it, but
calling upon the
that's
dark
just-
arts to finish the robot.
Oh yeah.
Robot. You know what? I mean, there's nothing like a deadline to make things real. And that's why we have deadlines, right? Otherwise, we'll just kind of keep kicking the can down the road and keep kicking the can down the road. And, I mean, it's a lesson best learned early. And it's fun for us because we get to watch you sweat,
Right? And that's a lot of it. I mean, we can, as mentors on the technical side, we can jump in a little bit sooner and say, hey, let's just do this and run with it. But, there's no learning in that. There's not that it's the trial and error. And without going through that, you can't understand why it's done a certain way to begin with. So, and that's being teenagers. That's, sometimes you got to go through that. That's part of life, right?
Learn through experience.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
and
you can the other side of it.
And you really learn that necessity is the mother of invention too, right? It's like, man, this needs to be done now, so we will invent a way for it to be done now.
Right.
It's fun to watch happen.
Right.
It's like, yes, now you learn, young Padawan. Now
like,
you know.
You just gotta think, like, when will we learn that, like, pedal to the metal is not the way to go, like 2 nights before.
See,
we've been doing it for so many years.
I've asked this as somebody who does not like this habit of ours. I've asked this to many members over the years, and every time it's, what are you talking about, Skyler? This works perfectly. It's done, isn't it? And I'm like, well, yes, but not very well.
According to the definition,
enough.
it is done. But
I'm like, it's not done soon enough. It could be better. It could be done even better. Our robots aren't bad. It's just, but I'm like, they could be even better if we just actually didn't maybe procrastinate. I mean, it's just a thought, but I
think well, first of all, by the time you really learn that lesson, then you graduate.
Right.
Exactly. Yep.
and then the next crop of learners comes in, and they all have to learn the same lesson that you just spent 4 years learning, you know, and like really getting punched into your head. Like it takes about 4 years just getting kicked in the stomach year after year for you to actually learn it. Hopefully you take that lesson into college, but no.
Corporal punishment, but like nobody's learning from it.
Back of the shampoo bottle, right?
Yeah. Yeah, wash, rinse, repeat. Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, what do you want, Skylar? Like, it's a deadline-driven business, you know?
I want people to not wait till the last minute, but I kind of just accept after like sophomore year, I just realized there's nothing I can do about it.
I think what you're finding, yeah, acceptance is the first step to recovery, Skylar.
Yep.
Stages
I,
of grief.
I think what you find is like it's not that you're wasting all that much time. It's that the longer the project goes on, the less tolerance you have for trial and error. And as that hallway starts to narrow, it's like, man, it just gets really tight on you, and you got to push through to the end, you
That's
know.
true.
So
That's a good point.
I don't know. I mean, you have to come to a result. You have to come to that result on a given day, and the time for continuing to try something ends, and you have to roll with what you got. And so,
Well, a lot of times what happens is that you have all these students with all these different ideas, and in the initial meeting, one part of the team that was on the design side wants to go one direction, the other side still saying, no, I really wanted to go this direction, but I guess we're all going this direction for now, and we'll see how it plays out. And so while that side of the team that said, no, we wanted to go this direction says, well, that's why I wanted to go this way, not that way. And then by the time everything's all said and done, the end result is we need to come up with something so that we can compete with something.
Yeah.
And that's when we kick all the kids out of the room and we do all the work for you, right? No.
Definitely not.
No.
Not this team.
No, not this team. And that's where all the mentors actually kind of sit back and just kind of eat the popcorn and watch you guys run into brick
It's like
walls.
9 p.m. All right, I'm going home.
Yep. 9 a.m. the next day, all the kids, all right, I'm going home.
I get a great night's sleep.
No, what you find, I think what's fun. See, what's fun for us as adults is this is what they call joie de vivre, right? It's a French saying that means the joy of life. And we get to kind of, in a weird way, kind of relive our own youth by watching you kind of go through the same struggles that we did. Yeah. And, I mean, every adult that you see was once a teenager like you, believe it or not. We were,
I believe you.
well, I won't go so far as to say we were cool once.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Pascual, maybe Mr. Pascual was, but I think what's really great is like the adult mentors on the team. We kind of have our own little brother and sisterhood going, and so we get to like have our own sidebar conversations. Say, get a load of this kid, watch him work, watch her fly, and we're making our own like notes about you, and it's just a lot of fun for us. There's this camaraderie among the mentors that is really a lot of fun. So that when we are, of course, we don't abandon you, in the 11th hour, right? I mean, we're right there with you, burning the midnight oil and staying up till 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. from 2 days before. I mean, we're right there with you. And yeah, it's it works on our nerve too, but it's still a lot of fun for us. And we're right there with you. It's just we want you to come to a result, and we want you to cross the finish line. So sometimes that means dragging you across the finish line, and sometimes that means kicking you from behind across the finish line, and sometimes it just means running right alongside you across the finish line. But either way, we're going across the finish line. So what? I stepped on your line, man. I stepped on your joke. I'm sorry.
And we've carried you across the finish line too.
We have carried one or two of you across the finish line, crying and shaking,
rolling the balled up fetal position kids across the finish line.
Yeah.
And that's worth it, really. So
yeah, it does. Yeah, we're feeling it right there along with you. Just from a dad perspective or a mom perspective, whoever's
Oh,
involved.
for sure.
So you're our kids, all of you.
100%.
Except Tyler.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
no. Tyler was,
Gotta
I don't
live
know.
up.
He's actually not, I don't know. He just showed up one day on the doorstep. He said, "Please, sir, can I have a nice warm home and a hot meal?"
And you said
That's-
no.
I said, Get away from me, kid. We've got no room at the inn. Now, unless you can clean chimneys, be gone with you.
And that I did. I cleaned
Yes.
chimneys.
At 3 years old,
At
he
three-
he climbed up his first chimney, and he did a heck of a job, so I kept him.
He's
Still
still
sends me up there every once in a while. You don't even use the chimney.
I know, but it's just so you remember.
Oh. Remember your roots. Remember why you're here.
That's right. Never forget.
Never forget.
Well, we've gone
What
through
you
about
never
2
do.
of your questions.
Yeah, 2 whole questions.
You were kind of talking about how like it's very much so. I mean, for me, like robotics is very much so a family environment, and you kind of were touching on that too. It's like everyone, students, we're all family. The coaches, mentors, you guys are family to us too, and everything. But how do you guys build those good relationships with the students? Like, what do you guys do? What's the secret?
Just jumping right in, really, and get to know each one of you guys as who you are. Because we're trying to pick up on your strengths and weaknesses, in the sense of how can we, help you determine where you think you'd fit on the team best, because we're asked that often. Or what can I do is the biggest word of the day, right? Where can I help? Because I'm sitting there not doing anything and my leader's not having me do anything. So so that's what I hear mostly.
I don't know that I do a good job building relationships with kids anymore. Pascual does a much better job than I do. I think the word terrifying has been used to describe me like about 7 times just in the last week, at least once a day.
I want to say you're wrong, but like I don't see it. But that's just because I don't really get intimidated by people that much. I get intimidated sometimes, but never been intimidated by you. Probably because that would have been bad if I was intimidated by you while you were trying to help me with chairmans and everything. Probably wouldn't have worked very well.
Also, haven't you been been asked if you're in the mob?
Why do you think I don't want to talk about work? I've been asked if I'm in the mob, if I'm connected, if I don't know what it is that I do to portray this, but whatever. Fear is a tactic, I guess.
The mob's not real.
It's not the best tactic, but whatever works, I guess.
It's a tactic.
You do what works for you, Skyler. I'll do what works for me. Thank you very much.
I don't think
right.
you're going to be using fear tactics anytime soon.
What are you talking about? I'm terrifying.
You are. You totally are, man.
It's funny because I'm
Terrifying
obviously
ball of sunshine.
That's literally, I came into a social hour Zoom now, and I'm not going to say I dislike this nickname, because if this is what I'm going to be known as, that's fine by me. But like now everybody calls me in Noah's subgroup, that are like communications and development subgroup. Everybody, they just call me ball of sunshine whenever I join a Zoom meeting. And I'm like, all right, I guess that means I can't go to a meeting ever sad. Otherwise it'll just ruin everything. But
yeah, you're not allowed to have other feelings other than happy.
Nope, just happy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna
it's
call
funny,
you
though, for the fear thing, because I'm not a scary person, and I don't try to be, and I'm not. But like in my friend groups, like my personal friend groups outside of robotics, I am known as the scary one for whatever reason. I am the scary one. And I have this like, I'm not even joking. I don't
Skyler,
understand
if
it.
you are the scary one in your friend group, I cannot imagine how sunshiny the rest of your the rest of your
They're
friend
not
group is.
even.
Can't even
I-
comprehend that, Skylar.
That I know.
I
It's
am
like I would
the-
be blinded by so much sunshine.
I am the sunny one in the group still, but I think it's just when I don't get angry often. That's why I don't really get that angry. But
You're
when
the
I get
Hulk.
angry, I get angry. Like I am
Oh.
mad. And I don't like avoiding confrontation. So if somebody upsets me, like makes me sad, angry, whatever, I confront them about it. And I think people don't like it. And I also have my friends call it this death glare, but I don't know.
We all know it, the teenage
Yeah.
girl death glare. Listen,
Yeah.
Skylar, how dare you go around town being healthy about your feelings and being able to express yourself?
Yeah, what's
Have you
wrong
le-
with
have-
you? Why can't you
have
be
you
like the
learned
rest
nothing?
of teenagers and just lock it up inside of you and then it all bursts out at once at the worst times?
We were just talking about this in my psych class about we're learning emotions right now, this past week, and she was just talking about yesterday, how how some people express themselves, but teenagers specifically tend to bottle up their emotions and stuff. And she's like, I'm sure all of you understand this. I do not.
Not you, huh?
Nope. You can just
Clueless.
read it on my
Yeah.
face.
No doubt. Well, this is how you're able to have such a pleasant night's sleep at night, Skylar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Skylar, you have a gift because you've talked about how when your head hits the pillow, you're just asleep.
Oh, I'm out.
Yes.
I am out. I can it's not like if I want to, I can stay up late, depending on what I'm doing, if I need to. But once I put everything down and just close my eyes and try to go to sleep, I am out. That's it.
Skylar is auditioning for the role of dad, I think.
You can just about fall asleep in any
Dads-
situation.
Dads and Skylar have this superpower.
I can't fall asleep during the day. I don't nap, but at night, once it's nighttime, I'm out once I put my head down. That's it.
You'll have to move to Alaska so you can nap during the day.
No doubt.
It's training.
Absolutely. It's training your mind.
Right.
Yeah, for the Jedi ways.
How are you supposed to become a dad, Skylar, if you can't sleep during the day?
How will you ever become a dad if you don't learn how to nap on demand?
I'll work on it. It's okay. I've
for
got
you.
a lot of time on my hands this year.
Your nap
I'll
training
work on it.
starts now.
No more free period for me. It's now nap period. Got
Nap
it.
training.
That's exactly right.
I like it. I don't know, Pascual. Do you think I'm terrifying?
No,
No.
no,
Well,
I know,
you know,
but
I think it's just you make a lot of you like to tease us, like you said, and I think a lot of people just for whatever reason they just don't understand that you're teasing us. But see, I have a lot of sarcastic people in my family and people who like to tease me already. So for me, it's
you're well prepared.
yeah, I'm this is nothing.
No, I don't know. I think I have pretty good relationships with some of the kids, and some of them really walk on eggshells around me for whatever reason. It works to my advantage and to my disadvantage.
There's another example of just being scared of someone for no reason. I was talking to Caleb. For the people who don't know, he was an electronics director in the past, and he was talking about how people are just terrified of him, and I could not conceive it because
Caleb?
yeah. Well, because he was
He's
talking
the
about how he was a
nicest guy.
totally different person
Yeah.
during electronics, when taking the test, because there's for the people who are in electronics and they know what I'm talking about, but there's this test. It's just very difficult, and you got to get most of it right to actually not have to take the test again. And it's a grueling process. And man, it's I just can't picture him in that mindset.
In that mode, he's
Yeah,
the
in that
nicest
mode.
guy. He really is.
Yeah, he's like
I feel like I maybe have I've seen a little bit of it once or twice, but like no, I just.
Well, I guess anybody can Hulk rage, you know? Just like even you, Skylar. Do you turn all green and freaky when you get angry? I haven't seen
I
it, so I
turn
don't
red.
know. Oh, you turn red. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
More of a red orange.
Yeah, more red. It's a nice shade of magenta.
The shade of scarlet.
We're going to rename this Skylar Red. And it's going to be a new crayon in the crayon box.
No, I don't. I've only gotten truly angry like once or twice.
Would we like you when you're angry?
Honestly, you guys probably would, as long as I'm not angry at you. You guys would probably find it.
It'd be more of
extremely entertaining.
entertainment.
Yeah, it's very entertaining. But as long as you're not the one that I'm angry at, then yes, it is quite entertaining to see me angry.
Well, let's do it. Let's try it on this podcast. Ready? No, let's not.
We'll poke you with a stick.
Through the
Try to get you
screen.
angry like a bear.
I'm going to send you a cookie delivery, but I'm going to ask them to send all broccoli flavored cookies.
Oh, that is so terrible.
No, just
See, that
the
would make you
light
angry.
taste of
No, I would
peas.
just be disgusted.
Peas.
Yeah, light taste of peas.
Yeah, this is what
These are all right, man.
with the little note that says, "This is what I think of you."
Just send it an empty box.
See if you
I'd
get
probably
angry at
just
that.
laugh.
Oh,
I'd
you probably
just
would.
laugh.
This is what I think of you. Nothing. Nothing.
Wow, that's
I'd
brutal.
probably just laugh because this is where I also have very high self-confidence for because at this point I'm like, I know my faults and I just kind of accepted them at this point, so I'm like, this is what I am, this is who I am, this is what
It's hard to
whatever.
be It's hard to be humble when you're as great as you are, Skylar.
It's not that I think I'm definitely not, like, I have many faults, it's just I've accepted my faults, so I don't really worry about them too much.
That's true. Pascual talks about your faults all the time,
I'm sure he does.
but only behind your back.
Yeah, for sure.
Never to your face.
Why would he do that? I already know my faults. He needs to tell everybody else what they are now. He doesn't need to tell me.
That's true.
More of a helper rather than a
Yeah.
That's
hater.
true. Yeah, very true. Good point.
I thought we weren't going to discuss that part.
Okay.
What's your next question?
All right. So I know you have to go.
For-
So I think we should just have one more. So what are your guys' favorite or funniest memories on the team?
Like what's one of the best stories that
Best
you have?
stories, yeah.
You know what? The downtime between matches and lunchtime stuff, the antics that goes on.
That's
probably
always, yeah.
probably one of my I remember when Juan was chasing somebody. I forget who he was chasing, but he got slammed on the ground pretty hard. It was pretty funny. There's all kind of that goes on.
The antics, man. I didn't Mr. Lake bring up a Juan story too? Like Juan was notorious. I never met the
Was
kid.
notorious prankster, and then the time that we thought we could anodize stuff, that was another pretty good one.
Yeah, I heard that didn't turn out so hot. Let's just try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Try it. You might like it.
One of my funniest memories was I started running people through a stress test to rehearse for the chairman's presentation.
The stress.
Yeah, so we would heckle and throw stuff at the chairman's presenters until they did the presentation
Without cracking.
without cracking. It wasn't exactly hazing, because that hazing can get pretty brutal. It was all pretty lightweight, but just like yelling and razzing and raspberrying and Like
Treating him like a crowd in the Renaissance.
yeah, it was like evening at the Improv or at the it was quite a day. But my favorite so when the chairman's presenters walk into the room, they generally have to greet the judges and shake hands and so my favorite my favorite stress test level, like this was master like pro version 2.0 XL gold edition, like harassment, not harassment but haranguing, was as they walked down the line. One of my co-mentors, Mr. Compton, at the time, he had put lotion in his hand.
I remember hearing about that. Yes, I remember when I was preparing for the stress test, you guys had talked about that, and I remember right before we went in, they were like, Elijah and Zach, they're just like, okay, remember, be prepared for anything. When you shake their hands, be prepared. You don't know what you're gonna get when they're like, and they like gave this whole little like rundown, like just be prepared for anything and everything. Okay, forget everything you know.
Yeah, a nice big palm of lotion was so funny to me. Oh, it's so great. Thank you.
Buzzer.
Well, and I didn't know what was happening. I was about 3 persons down the line, so by the time they started shaking my hand, and I got a handful of lotion myself from the first person's hand full of lotion, the originating. This is how COVID spreads, kids. That's all I'm saying. This is how you.
Full of lotion.
Yeah, hands full of lotion. So, wash your hands and wear a mask. If for no other reason than to be well prepared for a chairman's presentation stress test. It's got some practical uses. That's all I'm saying. That was my favorite funny moment.
I remember Zach he could not break, like he just kept breaking when we did.
He kept breaking. Yeah, he just broke down. He wilted.
And it wasn't, but also, I mean, I feel like stress tests were already hard for him, I imagine. And then having his girlfriend be the one who was doing everything to him just made it like so much worse.
Yeah. It was good times. But guess what? Guess who knew their chairman's presentation inside and out?
Boosh.
Oh yeah, no. I thought the stress test was pretty fun. It was quite the challenge, that's for sure. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Didn't you get bread thrown at your head? I think you did.
I probably did. I remember there was like, I feel like people mess with me the least because they know that I would have been like, that would have frustrated me it was more, I remember I almost got water poured on top of my head, and that I was like, don't you dare. I think I broke for that because I mean, we had like these whole nice outfits and everything. So I was like, if I get water on me, I will come for you after this. Okay, this isn't done.
You're gonna have to catch me first, Skyler. Sorry. I'm twice your size too. Like you could wail on me for like, for an hour and do no damage. What are you doing? The ping, 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 ping. It's like shooting peas. Oh, we're back to peas again.
It's about strategy.
That's true. That's true.
Nah, it's okay. If I ever get in a fight, I've decided I'm gonna be the person who fights dirty because I know I'm not that tall. I'm not tall.
Good
I'm gonna do every trick I can think of.
Strategy.
It is. And see, now that you've learned this, you're about to graduate. See, all this wisdom, and now it's off to college with you.
Where I will feel like I know nothing all over again.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. And then our job is done, and we become Nanny McPhee in your life.
The nanny you need. It's Nanny McPhee.
We have spoken.
All right. Well, I know that, you have to go, Mr. Peterson, and I think we've gone through all of our questions.
All right. Well, this has been it's been a blast. Thanks for coming on. It was really fun.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna be able to see.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no one's seen me dancing, but like
we live to heckle you in the background. It's been a lot of fun, you guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
Thanks for inviting us on. You bet.
All right.
we're gonna keep going because we've got more to do.
Yeah, we have more to do.
Oh, you added this part out. I thought we just got to stay and
Oh, you
like
can?
Oh, you
heckle
can,
you
but
more.
don't you have to go?
I do. I have to jump off.
Yeah, but you guys can stay if you want. That's perfectly fine.
I don't want.
Yeah.
I mean, who would? So.
Yeah, really. I only did this because my kid asked me to. Bye, guys.
All
Bye.
right, see ya.
Catch you
Take
later.
care, all.
See you, bro.
Are you gonna stay, Mr. Pascual? Oh,
Oh,
okay.
no,
Nope, he's
okay.
not. All right. Okay. So moving on to the sponsor shout out. So today we don't have a specific sponsor to shout out, but we have for our team, parents and families can donate money as well as like companies. And so today we're just thanking all of the parents and families who have donated to us currently this year and in the past, and just everyone who supports us. And I mean, if we're going, since we're thanking them, might as well also like thank you to this, our boosters once again and everything, who they support us by providing food and stuff for our pod meetings and everything. And yeah, so just thank you, parents and families who have donated. And if you want to see those families or just see sponsors and stuff, or if you would like more information on sponsoring us, then you can go to our website or contact us at contact@team1671.com. Was that right? That might have been wrong. Wait.
Yeah, I think that's right. All right. And then new things for IR, or kind of new. Chairman's documentation is continuing, and they are finishing up the chairman's presentation. Yeah, that's nice. Also,
Masks!
Masks.
They're back. Wait, did you say that this is the next news portion? If he did not, this is the next news portion. But yes, masks, they're back. Woohoo! Daphne has more masks. They're a new type of mask this time. They're different.
new and improved.
Yes, these ones, before, the other ones they weren't adjustable and everything. These ones, they're adjustable straps and everything. And Daphne has said herself that they are, in her opinion, far better than before. So if you would like one, they are still $5, and you can contact her, reach out to her through Slack, just message her, and yeah.
Okay, and then we also have another booster meeting coming up on March 18th from 6:30 to 7:30
If you would
p.m.
Yeah, if you want to be if you are not a booster but you would like to be a booster or whatever, you can go onto just join the booster channel on Slack. Or if you do not have Slack and you cannot get Slack, if you want Slack, then you contact Mr. Neighbors or one of the coaches, or have your student contact them and they can help you figure that out. And yeah.
Also, if you are in Slack, you can also contact Mrs. Peterson or Noah.
Other news, IR, well, kind of IR and ST, but one of the new awards this year that our team is going for, Innovation Challenge, which the one where you have to, we interviewed Devin to talk about it for one of our first podcast episodes, but it's the one where you have to find a problem, make a solution, and you just have to find a solution to that problem, like an invention or something to solve that issue. And so for the Innovation Challenge, we have submitted the first part of the award documentation and everything for that, and now we are working on the going more in depth and everything with it, and really starting to, our problem is picked, now we're just figuring out and our solution is picked, we're just finalizing the solution and creating it and following through and everything. If you are a student and you would like to join the Innovation Challenge, then you can join the Innovation Challenge channel on Slack, or or you can contact Devin for more information on that.
And new in ST, there's a new robot project for first or second year team members. So just building it's all first or second year, so you want to do it, and it's whole new robot for a whole new game, like
It's basically, they're calling it basically build season. It is just another build season. Since this year, the reason behind it is to help new team members really get hands-on experience better than ever before for how to like build, design a robot and do all of that for a game. And it's also this year, because of being away and everything and just how, and like the whole COVID and the pandemic, it makes it so we didn't have a new game this year. They kind of just, they gave us new awards, but the same game pretty much as last year. So the robot was basically already made. We just made adjustments to it. And so this is like the idea behind this new like second build season is basically to give a whole new game and like a whole build season to members who didn't get to build a robot yet. So
It's honestly like a fantastic resource for like later in your experience on the team, because you'll actually know in whatever subgroup you're in, you know how to build your part of the robot. And yeah, I think that's just great.
and that's like, I mean, that's true, especially because generally the new members don't do as much for the team because they're new and they are still figuring everything out. But this, they're really making sure, like the coaches, mentors, and the leaders, they're really making sure that they are going to take as much like of a step back as they possibly can. They're really just going to be there for guidance. They're not really going to do anything, the leaders included. And since it's just pretty much for first and second years, they're going to like, there's not going to be any older team members, veteran team members to kind of take everything over. It'll just be them figuring things out as they go with guidance when they need it. And those meetings, it starts March 13th, which is a Saturday, and then it just goes through the end of the year. So if you want information on how to be a part of that, then you can contact Michael, Michael Simpson, the chief technical officer, or any of the leaders on the ST side, or coaches and mentors, Mr. Neighbors, if you want to figure out how to participate in that.
And just say it again, pods are still meeting, and if I am not mistaken, you can still sign up for them at any point.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
all for this episode.
that's all we have.
So this is Skyler and
Skyler and
Tyler
Tyler signing off.
off.